Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide Community Race. I am Mr. Entity. I am joined in the booth by Fraggle. How is it going, sir?
It's going pretty good. And how's it going on your end?
Looking forward to seeing some peoples die. Today,
Yay.
we are featuring the permadeath option for the flag set. Why don't you run the viewers through what that means while I get our racers ready to go?
Way to throw me onto the Phantom train there, Mr. E. I've not played the permadeath mode before.
Perfect!
However, what I do know is that when your character's HP hits 0, unless you got a Phoenix down to throw, you ain't getting them back. It's like that Nuzlocke variant of Pokemon, except with less adorable animals you train to fight.
I'll have to take your word on that.
So yeah, basically there's no Phoenix Downs apart from the 5, I believe it was.
We are starting with 5 Phoenix Downs today, yes.
That is 5 Phoenix Downs for the entire seed. You won't be able to find them in chests, you won't get them in the Colosseum, you won't get them in a shop.
The only other healing option is Phoenix, which will cast Life 3 instead of Life, and perhaps the Life 3 spell actually exists. I'm not sure about that.
So this is going to be a race where caution and actually thinking, do I really need to do this check, is actually going to come into play for our runners. Well, 3 of them. We all know one person's going to wipe his party straight away.
Oh, for sure. For those not familiar with Jack's playstyle, it's basically run at everything and then get booed.
Yes, boo.
We are also currently booing him for delaying the start of this race.
Again. Ugh.
He's so good at being ready on time.
So, other than the permadeath, it's our standard preset, I believe.
It is a standard race preset in all other regards, aside from permadeath, yes. So
it seems fairly friendly enough for our racers. The only thing they've got to do is think.
Yep, as long as they're not ending a whole bunch of battles with dead peoples at the end and continuing on, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Whilst we're waiting for Jack, let us just mention the 2 people in the background doing work for us today. We have Ceiling Cat doing the tracking, the one job I certainly couldn't do for this game, and also a totally different Mr. Entity who isn't me at all, just doing the restreams. It might be me.
I thought it was not appearing in this race.
No, we got enough peoples.
But we do have a Franklin. Our tracker has handily informed us.
Oh, we have 2 actual people in the background and not a fake Mr. Entity. So, Franklin also doing the tracking. Always nice when we get 2 people doing that. And it's our 2 tracker extraordinaires today. So, I imagine we'll get some good old tracking information.
Oh yes, between the pair of them, we should know everything about this by the time this race is done.
Yep. We are now having a jack. So I will quit out of this room. And we should be starting our race up here in 10 seconds. At which point I will press this button. Hooray, I started the timer.
Way.
That never
Okay.
happens.
Well, we've hit go, and they're off.
Yep, we have a lock start, a Strago with jump and rage respectively.
I'm calling it now. Zelfa sacrifices Strago.
But he loves Strago.
Yeah, he's gonna sacrifice him to get that look.
Oh, we have the standard opening play from 2 of our racers of Go Get Cursed Shield. Looks like
Yeah,
we're getting some looting done from Zelfer, interestingly, in the World of Balance.
a red cap or a Genji glove.
I think that's a fairly obvious choice. Terra
Yeah.
taking a monster in a box fight there, deciding not to follow through on it. Wouldn't have been that difficult, but, you know, it's time you don't need to spend for nothing. Jack now just looking at a door. Just looking at a door.
Ooh, that's a high number. 27.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
That shield is getting sold. Oh, and a fire knuckle in Arvis's clock.
You know what? Let's just go with... Ooh. We have had Jack drop out of the race. Therefore, we will be turning this over to your friend and mine, Sir not appearing in this race. 3-person race.
Okay, so Jack has actually permadeathed.
Immediately, as predicted.
So, let's see, we have Terra taken to the skies, which is something... Oh, Phoenix Cave straight away. Oh.
Phoenix Cave, interesting play. Certainly doable, but as long as you're not planning on killing that Durgan.
And I suppose outside of Terra's Seal Gate check, it's probably one of the most treasure-dense locations.
It is got a bunch of treasure in it. Terra skipping 2 of them immediately, though. So, doesn't look like she's going here for the treasure per se. Might just be gambling on the fact that it's gonna be not the first check that the other runners do.
Yeah, it's a pretty awful check. And when we look at what the other options are, you've got Ebertrock, the RNG Fest, you have Tower with no magic, or you've got Casa del Fuego.
Yep, I mean, there is the tunnel armor check, which is probably where I would run first. There's also a decent place to grind in there if you want to. But yeah, other options not great.
So, you mentioned a grinding spot there. Would grinding actually be your call though in this early phase of the race, because if it's permadeath and you get something like the trappers, I believe, which can cast level 5 death, and your levels are kinda creeping.
I mean, I usually go for a fight or two at the start of pretty much any seed. It tends to help out a lot. And if those fights are right next to a pot that will heal you in a seed where, having those extra levels might make a big difference down the line because you might not die as often, might not have to reset as often, I would definitely take a few extras.
My main worry would just be though running into one of those enemies with an instant death ability.
Yeah, it's just a reset. Don't worry about it. We do have those 5 Phoenix Downs, but I would not be wasting them on a grind.
No,
But a
the
grind,
5 Phoenix Downs are your lifeline.
yeah, especially when we get to Final Kefka, if one of your characters goes down, you might want to get them back up. So knowing when to use those, if at all, is going to be important.
Okay, I've just saw there Zelfa is doing the Figaro basement run.
And he found a
nest.
Minerva. Terra getting a dragon horn for her check. So, dead Phoenix Cave to start with. Not ideal, I would say.
True, but they have a natural jumper with the jump command.
Ah, so they do. So that might be something quite useful. Yeah.
And on Zelfa's screen, not only did he get the Minerva, I also spied a ribbon from the basement clock and a loose fire rod as well.
Ribbon's a nice pickup when you start with a cursed shield. I did not see the number on that as I was dealing with Jack's.
It was 27.
That's a big number. That's not getting done.
Okay, so let's see. Thief glove. Ooh, a break blade.
Situationally useful. Zelfer checking the money guy here into Zen, except not, because that soldier chanced the crap out of him.
Yay, obstruction. And ooh, Terra's got a Rexall.
And Zelfer has a Valiant Knife for 10k.
Zelfa, look. I never get a Valiant Knife that cheap unless it's random prices, and I'm very, very lucky.
Ooh. Strago throwing out stones for pretty weak damage here. Wearing a Minerva though, so damage he's taking is pretty low. This is not a fight where you want unspecifiable attacks.
To me, this is not a fight you want in, like, permadeath, because it can go sideways pretty quick.
Ooh, there's a dead Strago. And Locke is jumping on that Rexall pretty singularly, but does Terra continue is the question. Does she care about Strago? Does she care about using one Phoenix down this early if she can get through this Rexall fight?
Sid getting an elixir out of the barrel we don't normally check in Figaro.
Yep, Zelfer has found an air anchor in a shop.
Very handy.
If we find a tools user, for sure. There's also some earrings that I imagine we're about to see him buy.
And Terra has took the wipe to Rexall. So, if we were playing by Boo's variant of permadeath, that'd be Terra's race over.
Yes, luckily we are not playing hardcore mode. That would make for a pretty awful race stream.
Well, it could be like a beat the clock challenge,
Whoa!
Except the clock is a scythe swinging towards you from the Grim Reaper.
Terra just did something I did not know existed in this game. You can rearrange your commands.
Today I learned.
I don't know why you would ever want to do it. I guess if you don't use memory, but I don't understand why some people don't use memory. Terra is taking some fights here. Reasonable thing to do. Reasonably easy enemies. Yeah. Doesn't look like there's anything particularly notable in that in that moves list for Rage. Sandstorm's okay. But I didn't notice any name that jumped out at me.
Okay, Zelfa's about to get his offer of a Genji glove or a red cap, and then he'll be disappointed by the Case Shield.
Yeah, and if he doesn't take the Genji glove, I will be very surprised.
He did the right thing.
Of course he did. It's a fairly easy choice. The only way you would ever be taking that red cap is if you was late in the game and you had a full magic party.
There might have been some small incentive to take it though, with him having that cheap Valiant knife.
Yeah, but there's lots of opportunity to buy or find a red cap or a muscle belt. Genji gloves, bit less common.
So let's see, we've got Terra busting out the Darudes. We've got Sid hitting the shops, and Zelfa appears to be following him in. And he has a heal rod.
Yay! Now hopefully we find a thrower. And Strago's dead. Strago is dead. What does Terra do? Experience eggs for Zelfa in that shop.
Hashtag Zelfa luck.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
now she's just walking around with a dead Strago. Maybe just giving up on him with his crappy list of rages.
Maybe. And split experience is off by default, isn't it? So it's not like having the dead party member be useful.
Nope, it's just some stuff that you can do. You still only getting the whatever, however it works when you don't have split XP on the standard way. That is what is happening. So Locke is not getting double the experience than he would with a live Strago, unfortunately.
They seem to be favouring that Sandstorm Rage.
It is kind of the only one. I wouldn't have known that one off the top of my head, but it is a vaguely reasonable attack to have.
Especially this early in the scaling.
Zelfer has also found warp stones.
I hope he warps out of KT again.
That's the best place to warp out of, and that's why I now put the sleeping bags first and the warp stones second. Oh! Terra
to answer
has
chat.
made a live Strago.
Ooh, okay, to answer chat, Anthony, Jack went somewhere. We're not sure where, but we boo him for it.
Jack decided immediately after starting the race that he did not feel well, and therefore is gone forever.
And Sid has just found a toe cutter, which is a very reasonable encounter to get if you have a rage user. It does shrapnel.
Does it?
Yep.
I do not have many of the rages memorized.
I don't. I just know that one does shrapnel because I remember Zelfa doing it in a vanilla playthrough of this game.
Ah. There are a bunch of rages. There's 256 rages, though a couple of them can't actually be used. So knowing all of them, aside from the like top tier ones, is really hard to do. There's sometimes you'll see a racer pull out something so situational that you're just like, how do you even know that exists? And I guess part of the answer is sometimes you do have the rage list up.
Okay, so Zelfa looting Albrook.
Zelfer's going quite all in on his looting. 13 minutes in, and he's still just gathering stuff. It has worked out for him, but Terra has now killed the Rex Soul and still has a dead Strago. So that was a waste of a Phoenix down if she continues. And gets a first Magicite. Ifrit. Oh, using another Phoenix down on Strago.
Oh.
2 down already. And walking back through the cave? Yeah, so
I'm confused.
I don't think Strago's a good enough character in this case to have used the Phoenix down on. Especially when Locke is doing so much damage, but we'll just have to ask later, except I'm remembering we can't because Tara does not have a mic today. So we'll just have to wonder forever. Forever. Okay, so
To
we
answer
do have...
Malf... Sorry. You do your thing.
I was just gonna say, we do have a Locke in the party with his natural Valiant Knife use, so that looks like what Zelfer's gonna be going for.
And to answer Malfe's retainer does shock. Is that on the list today? I didn't catch it.
If it was, people would be using it. That's one that everybody knows if they've played this rando for any length of time.
Oh, Zelfer's in Burning House.
His favorite check!
It's so hot.
Yes, in the randomizer, Malfeas, we start with a number of random rages, and then you learn rages from any enemy you kill. So, someone runs into a stray cat somewhere down the line, they're gonna have a stray cat rage. But it didn't seem like we started with many particularly good options. We're gonna see an Ebbets Rock here from Tara as Zelfer uses fire rods to get through the burning house.
Must have found them in Albrook.
I think he just found them in the burning house. That's where they keep them. There's an offering in whatever shop Sid is in. Looks like a Tomasa World of Ruin. So we'll have to see if Zelfer goes there eventually, because that would be Valiant Knife. Offering. Ooh, a Scullion, one of the enemies you never want to see.
Oh god no, I had to fight a few of them last night in my draft race. Good level, but oof.
Yeah, it's one of those enemies from near the end of the game that's harder than a lot of the bosses. You know, along with like Doom Durgans and...
Yeah, it's not a fun one.
Those 2 ninjas and the lady.
The most terrifying encounter in the game.
Time to ban a thing. Oh, as the kill 2-9. This is like 1-4-5. Get out of here, person. That isn't a person. I'm sure a million bots will replace you. There is an Ultros in the burning house and a Sid.
And this is Ultros 4, given the positioning.
Botamesh. So, gotta kill that Haydn, and then get blown off the boat. Just like in that game that came before this game. It's a remarkably similar fight to Gilgamesh and Enkidu.
Now that you mention it, it really is.
Yes, Ultros is the Gilgamesh of this game. With his many arms, he's just not holding enough Excaliburs. Or Excaliburs, or whatever translation you prefer. 7 is the reward for Zelfer, so we are seeing our first character, and that's going to open up a lot of checks.
Oh yeah, joint most checks in the game, I believe.
Yes, and a lot of them are very fast.
Yep. You've got the collapsing house in Tzen. You've got Mount Colts, the Imperial Camp by Doma. You've got... Where else? Oh, Phantom Train.
Phantom Train. All 3 of those real close together. And, you got the collapsing house, which is free and super fast.
We've got a Valley Garmantis heading out to Ebert Rock.
Yep.
Looking at that rage list, I don't think there's anything there which will damage it.
This is not a nice fight to find when you've got no fire and you don't have Zelfer's Valiant Knife. Zelfer is going for Tizen World of Ruin now, and Terra's going for a reset, which is the correct response.
And
Especially with a frozen.
houses, either Magicite or dead.
We know it's not a character. We will have to see. Oh, Terra saved in Ebbett's Rock. So now she has the joy of finding the way out. Luckily, it happened pretty quickly, but, you know, looks like she's going for Burning House now, which...
Oh, Zelfa found an Ice Shield.
And a Master Pug.
Yeah, this is a runaway unless you really want a Gradius.
I mean, if you can kill it really fast, it is worth like 20k, but it's not a good knife. It's not a good knife.
No. The only holy element weapon worth getting it really is the Pearl Lance. Or the Excalibur if you need a stat stick.
Yeah, Excalibur is pretty solid. Oh, and Zelfer has found himself an offering in a box on his second monster in a box attempt. So we'll see how this goes for him. I don't foresee many problems. He has lots of fire rods kicking around. He's got a chainsaw to maybe proc death.
Yeah, got a jumper.
Yep.
He's got the... Oh damn it, he's got Minerva's, Ice Shields, he's kitted out.
And he's got a dead Katana Soul, so we know what Locke is going to be doing for the rest of the seed.
Exactly. And yet again, we're what? 21 minutes in, and Zelfa luck.
He is doing pretty well. He's got his character before anyone else. I mean, he's a couple checks behind Terra and doesn't have the Esper, but he does have easier, different checks open.
Yep,
so at least it's not that race that one time where everything was locked behind the Fanatic's Tower.
Oh, that was fun, and I'm fairly certain the boss there was terrible as well.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
And Odin was the collapsing house.
So that only has scan on it, MP plus 50%, nothing notable there, really.
No, MP plus 50% is not a stat bonus you want to see unless you're playing with ridiculous magic costs.
And Zelfer found more fire rods.
Okay, and Fruity Dinosaur. To explain the top left, we have our stand-in racer to make sure that the layout is perfectly symmetrical.
And it's totally necessary that it be there. So says me. Because if it wasn't there, it would who knows what would be there? Could be anything behind it.
Okay, and Sid is getting his Saban, and Terra has took the plunge into the burning house to cast Flames Be Gone.
Yes, as useful as that is, that's the plan. Zelfer now looking to fight him a Rex Soul, get him an Ifrit, whilst the other two hang out in some fire. So fire all around. And once again, Rexel, not a boss you want to find when you've got like a Rager and someone holding an offering, presumably.
True,
And-
but he does have ice rods. That was 3,000 damage.
That was what I was about to say, but he's still gonna have an easier time than Terra did.
Oh yeah.
And it's very dead.
Yeah, this is just a classic example of Zelfa. He always spends the first 10 or 15 minutes hunting down enough passable loot to sell and actually prepare.
Ifrit has Bolt 3 on it,
Fastest spell in the game.
and one of the strongest.
So that I can see being used with that double earring wearing Strago. He might not have the greatest of magic stats, the lowest out of all the natural casters, I believe, but he will certainly do a good job with those earrings.
Yeah, he's kind of a bad character. Although, that being said, you can take any character in Final Fantasy VI if you're playing vanilla and easily beat the game with them.
Yeah, it's a very gratuitous leveling system.
33k for that Valiant Knife in the World of Ruin. 3 times more expensive than it was in the World of Balance, but as I have said on multiple occasions, the only way to make vanilla hard is to only ever attack, only use the characters with the worst stats, and deliberately give them bad equipment. Outside of a couple places, it's not a very difficult game. And thank you for the raid, Speedrunner Serena. Welcome to Worlds Collide. Today featuring permadeath. I think the only flag we haven't actually played around with on a restream yet.
Ooh, and Zelfa's got Atma weapon. This could go either way.
It's not a very difficult boss. He's got 1,000,000 rods. And he's not even trying to use them with his Strago, which should show you about how much difficulty he thinks this is going to be. Interestingly, he's going for jumping on his lock with that Valiant Knife instead of having given him the offering. To explain permadeath, Phoenix Downs that you were given at the start, which today is 5, is the only way to resurrect characters for the whole game. That number is alterable, but since it's a community race and not, meant to be super difficult, we did give them a few to start out today. And that's dead Atma weapon, of course.
Yeah. Atma weapon's usually more dangerous when the scaling ramps up. I've had Goner off him, I've had Fallen one.
Yeah, he does have some neutral element attacks, and he does have HP plus % on that one. Palador, also Meteor, which is occasionally useful.
Palador's gone straight on lock.
Of course, we have known what Locke was going to be doing for a fair little while here. As soon as that Valiant Knife was found, that put him in a distinct camp of what to do. Sid now taking on that Katana Soul to get the offering. Interesting, since you don't usually see people check monster in boxes until they've found a reason to do so, which is usually I want an offering, which is usually I found a specific weapon. So,
Well, he has his offering.
He's got his offering, now he can stop looking in monster in the boxes, unless he's looking for a Gigantos for some reason. Zelfa about to jump off a waterfall in the smartest move in the entire game. Always a good way to get where you're going, and it's a Doom Gaze! What level are you, Zelfa? Not 5, so you'll probably be fine with your 1,000,000 rods.
Yeah, he's level 16.
Then he's good. And Sid is about to get a badass burn. Whilst Terra still slogging her way through the burning house. Probably on fire. Doom Gaze is already dead. Like, nah.
Zelfa look. I never get Doom Gaze in friendly spots.
He can be one of the more annoying bosses, but this is why I usually play with rods off. I find them a fairly predictable and dull way to get through a seed. But if the other people don't shop, it's a winning strategy, and we have seen that nobody else has found the rods, although Sid is about to find a shop with them. Whether he goes for them or not, we will see.
I believe he will.
That is the standard play.
And he's got enough to get a handful.
Yeah, and Zelfer has found an Edgar. So that opens up one very fast check or three sort of slow checks, if you combine them.
Edgar has control.
Not what you want to see.
No.
And Zelfer there checking the Valiant knife for who can use it, and it's still just lock.
I think it'll be Valiant knife there, and if he bought the Dragoon boots, he'll probably put them on Edgar. Try and make him useful.
Edgar is a natural Dragoon with his vanilla lance usability.
And I've just spied Zelfa putting a Gale hairpin on that Edgar. In a setting like this with permadeath where every battle counts, that's a pretty smart move.
If you got nothing better to put on, yeah. Especially if you know you're about to go into a place where you do just have to fight regular fights, such as the Imperial camp, where we now find two of our runners. Sid going for the treasures, Zelfer deciding I have fire rods, and Valiant knife offering. Oh, there's another boss fight you don't really want to see. Not as bad as the Scullion, but, you know, kind of the same family.
But Io is a fairly good rage.
And if you have Bolt 3, it doesn't matter.
So we can expect to see some flare stars off Zelfa if he wants some extra offense.
Hey, he's got Bolt 3. He's got Bolt 3 on multiple people. And fire rods. Oh, dead Imperial camp. Not something I see very often. That means you do not have to fight the subsequent two fights. You can just walk out. And where is Zelfer going to go? Well, he's gonna take a free heal and get the shop in here, maybe. Whilst Terra follows the two on the bottom into to Zen, the standard opening Sabin check. Especially if you find him in the World of Ruin.
I usually prefer to leave Sabins to Zen check till later, because if it's a Magicite, you can literally just grab it and go straight to the tower from there. But it is a fairly painless check to do.
Yeah, and there is a fair chunk of treasure in there as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
And we have
6.
Divergence.
Ooh, Phantom
Sid.
Train.
Yep. And Zelfa is going to find the Ultros baby pod.
Yep. And we're going to see what the reward is here for the Phantom Train. We can see that Zelfer is not finding a character in the Tentacles check, and Sid has found a Tritalk, which he's electing to keep, and did not get the secret invisible treasure.
I always forget the treasure in that train.
Ooh, speed +2, not bad if you don't have much else to do. Didn't really see much else of note on that Esper. I think X-Zone was on it, but that's a really situational
Vanish
thing.
was there. Again, situational, can help in a pinch.
Yeah, occasionally. I have forgotten the next thing I was going to say. Thunder Shield for Zelfer, and some delicious flan for Sid. There's some Flare Star.
Yep, and Terra got rid of Katana Soul. So all runners on stream have their offering. So where we go. Zelfa is
about to
in
fight
the engine room.
Tentacles boss. And we find today a Strontium Behemoth. Throwing pearls around. which is not a
Ooh.
super nice spell to get hit by, but if you're wearing a Minerva, I don't think you care. Interestingly, he is going for the Flare Star, but, fire is a thing that the Strontium Behemoth does not enjoy. I probably personally would have gone for Bolt 3 still, but, I don't know how much MP he's sitting on.
Question. In the standard flag set, because it's been that long since I played it, is undead bosses on or off?
There is no insta-kill of bosses via Revivify in standard flags, for the reason of it makes some bosses just non-entities. Unlike me.
Oh well, so that means we're going to actually see the full two-part fight?
Yep, it does look like he gave his lock a wing edge, and he does have 2 ways of doing instant death, so you can still do that. We've got some stooges on the train. Well, not on the train. They are the train.
Yeah, I'd be running away from them as well. I don't like this boss battle.
And Zelfer gets the proc and insta-kills the Strontium Behemoth.
That's a free Behemoth suit and Thunderblade and a lot of spells learned.
And the Esper Stray.
Situational.
Which has on it Fire and Drain. Drain underutilized, I would say. People tend not to think about it, but it can be quite useful. And an Aegis Shield. So that's 3 of his characters with S-tier shields.
So, you found a lot of this. Say you're playing this now, you found a lot of this gear, what they've got. Would you be playing a little bit more aggressively? Like, actually utilizing the lower health to maximize Valiant Knife damage? Or would you be saving that for inner boss?
Oh, Valiant Knife is not gonna see a huge amount of usefulness in terms of HP added damage for a fair while here. I mean, Sid's sitting there at 500 max health on Sabin. Putting yourself down low enough for that to be useful is putting yourself low enough to die in one hit.
Realm on the throne.
With Natural Magic and Runic, pretty solid pickup. Obviously going in the party.
Yeah, no question about it. The highest natural base magic stat in the game, and doesn't naturally learn a spell.
Yep. Zelfer moving his dudes around for some reason. Electing not to look in the shop. I guess he thinks he's got his solutions and doesn't need to do it, although he is still checking chests. Maybe he just doesn't want to have...
And he finds a Pale Rod.
Yep. Probably just doesn't want to have the conversation with Sabin and the shopkeeps.
And we've got a round 2 between Terra and Tritok, but she's got the Fire Rods this time, so we know how this is going to conclude.
It's going to conclude with Fire Rods, like most of Zelfer's run up until this point. Sid is down to just Mo remaining, but Locke is down to 1 second on his timer and just barely gets it there. Saving himself one of his precious, precious Phoenix Towns.
Yep. Easy battle for Zelfa down in the caves.
Yeah, I guess he must have had his Moogle Charm on Edgar. Because,
A mistake we all make.
And Terra has found a gal. So, we have seen dried meat. I'm not sure if Terra was in that shop. I know... Actually, she hasn't done much shopping at all. So, Sid and Zelfer both know where it is, though.
We have total RNG Gao today with dance and slots.
It was almost double slots. The best gal. And Sid, interestingly, is condemned again. I didn't really register it last time, but I guess he's going for the Cursed Shield.
I suppose that with that, you've got it straight away at the start of the seed. he might have mentally worked out between his grinds and bosses, he'd be able to uncurse it in time for it to be useful.
Yeah, I guess so. I probably wouldn't have gone for it, but, you know, maybe it will work out. I also wouldn't have put it on my jumper.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, safety, sure, it works because you're not going to get hit, and the Curse Shield is bad at stats, but also, it still ticks down when you're up in the sky. So, not super ideal.
Yeah, it's always amusing when the timer expires when your character is off the screen and their body falls down. Well, I imagine it's the body falling down. It's a bit funnier.
Sets are fine for Zelfer, getting all the characters.
With Morph as well, which is a pretty handy ability, and we've got our first dragon, and it's the Ice Dragon.
You know what the Ice Dragon doesn't like?
Zelfer rods.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of rods at all.
Well, he's only got about base level 20,000 hit points. So, well, you see the damage that rod's on there.
Oh, yes. I had forgotten that dragons were scaled in the standard race preset. Another thing that, you know, I might change, but we actually very rarely use the standard race preset anymore.
That Ice Dragon yielded a Valiant Knife.
Well, he's got an offering and a Genji glove.
And, yep.
And a red cap. So, doing pretty well on the Valiant Knife strats.
Though he hasn't put the offering on lock, it's just the...
There it is.
Okay, he must have realised.
Yep, so, as predicted, but even more so, Locke is going to be using the Valiant Knife. And interestingly, oh, I guess Terra's still only on 4 characters. Zelfer's the only one that's had a choice. I was going to say she's using slots, but you might as well have Gao in the party if you have him, and you don't have anyone else. So a lot of 7 flushes.
And a confused crawler.
Yep. Some dead crawlers. Decent experience on those things.
Yeah, they're always an enemy if I've got my Moogle Charm off, I do look for. Because it's good magic points, good experience, they're not too difficult to deal with.
Yep, and Sid has found the 10k Valiant Knife. He knows where offerings are for sale, and he's killed... I could have just gone with that. He already killed the Katana Soul. Everybody killed the Katana Soul. Interestingly. So yeah.
And
Probably gonna see...
Oh,
that's a dead Sabin. Dead Sabin from level 5 Doom. And that's a reset. Can't waste any more of those Phoenix Downs. She's already used 2 of them. 3 remain.
Okay, so yeah, we're getting Locke outfitted with the Partisan and the Curse Shield still. So that means one of his slots is taken up automatically by the ribbon.
Yep, hasn't elected to go for the Valiant Knife strats yet, but I imagine we will be seeing a fair chunk of that towards the end of the game on probably everybody. Assuming Terra does either of the 2 things that get you a Valiant Knife.
Yeah, I mean, if they all do the Imperial camp, it's a Genji armor there. There's been a Genji shield as well, so the short of finding a snow muffler which Locke could suddenly equip, you'd be able to turn that frail thief into a bulky character.
Yep. Zelfer has found a natural magic Mog. I neglected to read his ability, but it does look like he wants to put him in the party, or is at least considering it. Gets rid of Sabin.
Is the samurai on Terra's screen the one who does the instant death counter? Oh, doesn't matter. He's dead anyway.
I do not think so. But I'm not gonna say 100%.
Well, we didn't see anything anyway. You got jumped on. There we go. Who's that in chat saying he thinks it's Retainer?
Oh yes, that is correct.
That would be one I would not want to run into in permadeath mode, because that is basically Phoenix down, reset, or bench.
Yeah, that is when you run away. Zelfer now going to search the skies and finds an Ultros. I guess, he fell off after the Boda Mesh incident. Terra!
Yep. This will be Ultros 3.
Terra running around a bit there, not knowing where to go. Probably hasn't done the Phantom Train in a while.
Yeah, it's a check a lot of people tend to avoid because it is fairly long and obnoxious.
It does have the benefit of being able to find out what you get there right away. And if you skip all the treasure, it's not that long. I'd say it's medium. It's Sabin's longest check for sure, but it's not that long. Raiden get there with a plus magic and fire 2 on it for Zelfer. Nice thing to throw on Magic Child.
Yep, definitely fire 2. Well, you've seen what it's capable of with the rod damage calculation, but it's a fairly handy spell to have.
Always nice to have at least a level 2 in at least 2 of the elements, I would say.
Yep, fire and ice. You want them to, at bare minimum.
Sid gets himself an Ifrit.
And in the Esper Mountain is an Imperial Trooper. So it's either dead or Magicite.
Whoa. Terra's game may have just broken. Or she took a deliberate reset.
And Air Force hiding in the mountain. Yep, Bolt 2 coming out, and Bolt 3. This is going to be one fairly painless boss.
Yep. Usually not that worrying, unless, say, Normalize and Distort is on. At which point any multi-part boss is difficult, or when you get the scaling really high, anything with more than one part can be quite dangerous. Terra going back to the train, I have to imagine her emulator or SNES just conked out there. Unfortunate. And Zelfer has Golem with Strength +2 on it.
Regen at time 16, again, a situational spell, but in permadeath mode, a viable option.
I doubt we'll see him cast it, but yeah, if you don't have any other real way to heal, it can do some work, especially if you've got those delicious Esper stamina bonuses.
Stamina.
The most useful stat of them all. Okay, Zelfer warping out, saving those precious, 15 seconds or something.
I call Zelfer is going... Okay, I was going to say he's going to go to World of Balance, Nosh, and do the Mog.
Well then I raise you Azur's Mansion. Now you owe me...
into Auction House.
You owe me an Azur's Mansion and a World of Balance, whatever you say.
Yeah, you can have Mog and Kefka at Nosh.
I only accept
you can't warp out of them.
Yeah, I don't like those ones.
A totally useful charm bangle for Zelfer.
Yay! I mean, it does sell for a reasonable amount. And Zelfer finds some mandrakes whilst Terra retreads the train ground, and Sid will have to make a decision about where to go. Zelfer has a fairly commanding lead here at 7 characters, 6 Espers. Our other runners are sitting at 4 and 3. And, he's got all that offense from his extra levels and stuff, and he's just basically running through the seat a lot faster than they are. But there's a reason that he tends to place very high in events, and it's that he's good and also lucky. There's those
He's lucky,
experience
but
eggs
he
again.
couldn't- I was going to say he's lucky, but he couldn't get round the stairs first time.
Well, I mean, that's a totally different skill. Sid, now looking at experience eggs, seems like they were trying to figure out what should sell, but then they just didn't sell anything. Equipping stuff now, maybe just trying to work out what they do and don't need. He sold the heal rod. Now what will he do?
Again, heal rod's a weapon which could be situationally useful for this flag set,
I have
especially
used
in the early
them.
part.
Yeah, I have definitely used them to great effect in some seats. If you don't have access to other forms of healing, say, chests happen not to spit out many elixirs and you didn't find a heal spell, heal rod is basically, I think it just casts Cure 2 on you, so...
Yeah, pretty handy, and Gogo was painting a Dazaluma today.
And his painting is now broken.
Because Locke has 8 Valiant Knife Slashes.
Which is a number that is big.
Yeah, if he gets the health and strength just right, it is actually possible to one-shot Final Kefka with the Genji Glove Valiant Knife combo.
Yep, you wait for that fallen one to go off, and then you basically do 80k. Experience egg times 2 for Sid there. We'll have to see if that's enough for him to overtake Zelfer. At this point, I wouldn't be super confident about that.
And Zelfa's going on a selling spree. There go the elixirs. My guess is he's going to get 90k and clear the auction house out.
He is over the number of required characters, so yeah, there's no real reason not to do this.
Please be 0. Boo, there's espers.
Of course there are espers, but he finds a delicious chest first, with a mithril knife in it.
I call 50,000.
I
Sold
fold.
to the guy on random seeds.
Yeah, I wouldn't be paying 50k for a mithril knife. This is a strategy that I have just never really super agreed with. I'm still not sure if it saves you time on average. So I go for the reset and just take the 13-second hit. As a general rule.
And here's one, and it's Bismarck.
So second try.
1000 GP start, so is that the 10,000 or 20?
It is 20, and Terra has taken another reset. I did not see why. But it is notable that her in-game counter is currently at 36 minutes. Which, is not ideal when your timer is that far off a real timer.
Yeah, she's having a few struggles on the boss of the Phantom train.
You don't usually want to fight the Stooges when you don't have a lot of ways to deal with them. They are a nasty boss all the way through the game, unless you're quite strong and have varying powers at the end, or just have a really strong physical team.
Yeah,
For now, going for
not
Pepper's
pleasant.
Rock. But, Bolt 3 and... well, mostly just Bolt 3. She should have some rods if she shopped into Zen. I do not quite recall if she did. Sid now going for Tentacle Spot. And I guess she's just trying to rely on that jump to get rid of whichever one is the top one. Mugu Mugu.
Yep, okay, so, yep, Delta hit.
Yeah, Delta hit, one of the reasons you want to get one of these things dead immediately.
We've got a very stoned Strago.
And a Strontium Behemoth on a bed of danger noodles. Down to one stooge here.
Sadly,
Bolt
it's not the
3.
stooge who you can make run away.
One of them runs away.
Yeah, if you can kill Top, which is Kaylee and Mo, the yellow one, you can make Larry run away.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Yeah, it does happen occasionally. If Mo is still alive, Larry can run away and then come back.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Stooges are weird.
They are an interesting fight. Zolfer having a bit of an easier time with this Tritox than Terra did.
Just
Valiant
cutting it
knives.
through.
So many Valiant knives.
Zelfa just doing a nice sculpture there, carving that rock away.
Yeah. And, This was Gao, was it not? I think it was Gao. Indeed it was. Still haven't seen any Gao checks. But, as I said, Zelfer and Sid have both seen dried meat in shops. And Zelfer certainly has the damage output to not really have to worry about whatever comes up in the Serpent Trench. So either of those are valid options now. Ooh, there's that precious stamina bonus on that stray.
And Franklin in chat has just came out with a very interesting statement.
Oh,
Petrify is funny in permadeath. If you soften the battle, it's fine, but after the battle, you've got a dead character.
that's interesting. So I guess Strago is not going to be much use anymore. Or, no, he became unstoned. I guess that must have been healed in the battle. But yeah, that was an aspect of permadeath I was not aware of, although it is familiar. I probably knew it from when it became a flag, and then I just don't really play permadeath very often.
Okay, we've got Zelfa on the Veld.
Well, now we're getting conflicting information. Hudat says that Strago got healed on the airship. So, I don't know what's up with that. Maybe the airship heal needs to be feedbacked to Atma as a thing that permadeath isn't working quite right. Someone will have to check the wiki for that flag.
Okay, we've got Zelfa on the hunt for his encounter, which he can get off these mandrakes because the Velt rules for making Gao appear is it can't be more than 3 enemies in a formation, it can't be a back attack, pincer attack, and you have to have an empty slot in your party.
Yep. It also can't be a side attack. It has to be a perfectly normal attack with 3 or fewer enemies in it. And there's an Atma weapon fight for Terra. And a fight that Zelfer cannot get Gao from.
Nope. But you'll probably take it just for the money and the ability points to keep learning them spells.
He is sitting on Bolt 3, and if you got Fire Dance, little bit of time to kill this one thing with 8 offering strikes, but Fire Dance took the rest of them out pretty swiftly.
Yeah, Fire Dance is one of my most used blitzers. 9 times out of 10 it does some good damage. And then you use it on sea flowers.
Mmm. Things in the ocean notoriously love fire.
Well, they could grow on, like a thermal vent, I guess.
Don't bring your logic into this.
But where can I bring my logic? No one likes my logic. It's why I'm not allowed to roll seeds or pick flags.
Well, that should tell you something. Take your logic and go become a philosophy professor. Math professor. Or a philosophy of math professor.
Okay, we've got a bright yellow imp.
Sid has killed the Durgan. Also got a Setzer a minute ago. Terra in epilepsy mode at the moment. Which I'm sure she doesn't enjoy, as I know that does do bad things to her head.
Yep, quickly healing that up there at the heal bucket. And with that dragon down, Sid has now got his Valiant Knife.
He's had a Valiant Knife for a while.
That makes 2 of them then?
Yeah, I'm actually confused by the fact that he has not put it on lock yet. Like, he's been sitting on it for so long with the offering.
Okay, we've got Zelfa's Respecters party, and we're gonna see what's hiding in the trench. Please be outside of Madam's.
That would be glorious.
Especially if it was the last encounter of the trench.
And how? I personally hope it's 4 entire final Kafkas.
What about the 1% unrunnable monster? What you got me with in a community reach flag one time?
I did enjoy that.
And it's balloons.
Well, I think he'll be fine. What with his spells and attack power. Terra is going for what appears to be the Valley Garmanda dragon area. For some reason. Maybe just wants to kill that Durgan and get that sweet, sweet experience.
Yeah, killed the... No, I think she's doing the check. The Valley Garmanda.
I mean, if you're up there, you might as well do both.
Yeah, but normally, unless you're really struggling for espers, you wouldn't normally do this without Amaro, but it's a leader.
No, leader. Sid has found himself a realm, and I'm sure Terra's going to kill the crap out of this leader momentarily. And then I have to presume she's going to take down the dragon, otherwise I don't super understand why you would go for this check.
Yeah. Leader giving her a little bit of trouble there, getting a few axe swings in, but it goes down.
He's not usually difficult, except at very high levels or in normalize and distort. Yeah, Magus Rod there. So dead check for Terra, unfortunately. That's not a place you want to have walked.
But a Magus Rod on a Strago with the Rage, you found one of those useful ones like Rain Man, Great Behemoth, any of the ones what drop a level 3 equivalent spell.
I mean, I'll take a Magus Rod, but...
it's going to be a reset. I would not be fighting this.
She's got rods. It's not going to be that difficult. Just has to not die to the first move. And she does still have 3 thingies left. Phoenix Dance.
Oh, Life Shaver.
And Zelfer has found a Cyan. Now at 9 characters, 8 Espers. 10 characters, 8 Espers.
I think this is... We're probably going to see him head to Doma. Will to balance. It's a quick check. Just hold down, press A. Get chancelled by the children first.
Yeah, those children are going to be some real good chancellors when they grow up.
Yep.
Terra warping out there. Killed the dragon. I did not see the reward. And Sid still sitting on that cursed shield. And that partisan. I have some questions for him later.
Yeah, definitely.
Terra finds some dogs and some mans. Maybe, don't know if going for a fight or just forgot Noble Charm.
Shadow is in the castle.
Okay, Zephyr is now at 11 characters.
I thought he was a quick check straight away. Ooh, Inferno.
Well, Zelfer's been sitting on Bolt 3 for quite a while. He'll be fine.
Yep. Just at least give the illusion that he might struggle, please.
Well, he at least forgot to heal and has no magics.
Yeah, well, Inferno, I find my relationship with this boss is one where he's either extremely incredibly easy, or he ruins me.
Yeah, if you don't have a way to take out the middle part pretty quickly, he can be quite a hassle. But
Delta attack user.
Yes. You either want to kill one of his parts or both of his parts. Ideally not with cleave, because then they come back on and off constantly for some reason. But if you leave them there, yeah, anytime, I don't know what does it, but they just reappear and then disappear like every time he moves.
Odd, but yep. Here we go. You see Loki's been hit by that Sobat spell, and the damage. It's granted it spreads across all the parts, but yep, pretty big.
Another person not taken out by level 5 Doom in Terra, and Sid is now in Nersh.
I think Terra went away and did some leveling before coming back here, because I'm sure Doomgaze took out Sabin.
Yeah, that was a thing. You know, it's not. It's dangerous in a seed where you only have, in her case, 3 Phoenix downs to just allow the start of a boss fight to kill one of your guys. Phoenix Esper there for Zelfer with Magic +2 on it. That is, I mean, he already
Magic +2 break.
He already has Golem, but Phoenix is technically in permadeath, a way to get past calmness.
Yeah, and even though I'd have Golem, I'd be putting Phoenix up anyway, because tier 3's Meteo damage rolls and spam phase, it can ruin a lot of things.
I would just put it on at the start.
But doesn't one of the tiers have an attack what removes?
Yes, Dispel on the tier 2. Maybe I wouldn't. I probably would, and then I'd be annoyed at myself later. That's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, I usually would, anything like life 3 based or that, I'll put it up straight away at the start of tier 3 before I start going to sleep.
Sid gets a Sky Esper. And Terra is dead. Locke is dead permanently now. She can't use Locke anymore. He's very clearly dead.
She's stuck with Edgar.
She's stuck with Edgar. Zelfer going for the Dirt Dragon up in Valley Garmanda land. I guess just trying to go for a quick check that he knows can't be a character. Because he is 1 Esper away from go mode.
And he's going to be disappointed because it's a Magus Rod.
Yay!
So wait, he's going to get a Magus Rod off this Dagon, and then he's going to get a Magus Rod off the leader. In the Ice Cube.
I hope we see Genji Glove Magus Rod offering strats. Pulling out Phoenix. Solid play in a boss fight,
Yeah.
notable for killing people, but I think Locke's gonna take the Dirt Durgan out pretty handily here with his next
Oh
move.
yeah. I mean, Zelfa, with the number of checks he's made, is probably capped out the scale on right now, so the Dirt Dragon is at its most dangerous, but when you get Locke on that low health at the level Zelfa is, yeah, it's not going to be a problem.
Yep. Sid going for Phoenix Cave, and Terra starting up the Edgar quest line.
Yeah, well, at least Sid'll get his Dragon Horn from here. Oh, he's going for this chest.
One of those chests that you don't see people get very often in the rando, as obviously it takes that much time to get.
And I wouldn't have got it for that. A Mithril Glove.
Mithril Glove isn't even one of those garbage relics that's worth selling. Interestingly, actually putting the spikes up and down.
Well, Permadeath, and I don't think any of them actually have a curative spell. I mean, I might be wrong, and
10-cent
They
sleeping
do,
bags
but-
were available. I know Zelfer's sitting on a solid 20 sleeping bags.
yes, 20 is the minimum sleeping bags anyone buys usually.
Woo! A nicely X-zoned leader. Was not aware he was
Bye-bye.
ideable. It usually doesn't matter, he tends to die in one turn.
Come on, Zelfa, give us those sweet Genji Magus offering strats.
I mean, it's obviously not going to happen, but I would do it just because it's funny.
Oh, and that's why we're all here.
Because I find some things funny. That's why everyone comes. Strontium Behemoth getting all killed. Up at the top right on Terra's screen. And Zelfer now going for Mount Zozo, it would seem. Why not take this time to follow our runners? I thought I fixed that command. Apparently I fixed the wrong one.
Yay!
Yay! Let me fix
Yeah.
that properly.
Okay, you do the fixes, and I really hope this is a character for Zelfa.
That would be hilarious.
So in we go to Mount Zozo, another treasure-rich location, but... Oh, a ribbon, not bad. But generally I think at this stage of the seeds, where Zelfa is, you're going to be skipping most of these chests just to get through.
Aside from the ones that are right in your face, yes. The question is, does he kill the Durgan just for some levels while he's here? And the answer
I
is...
think he will.
It looks like he's going for it.
Yeah, Zelfa,
He
even though
cannot
he's...
get on that save point.
Yeah, Zelfa, even though he is like extremely fast as hell when playing this game, he is rather cautious, so he will, at any chance to get, you know, better equipment or better levels, go for that option. And it's a red dragon, easily dealt with, and Sid is taking on the Skull Dragon down in Phoenix Cave.
Apparently, I think Natural Magic Mog must have given him Merton, because I saw that for a second there, or maybe it was on Realm. He does have 2 natural magic characters with him.
Yeah, I think Maiten's on Realm.
Skull Durgan goes down.
Yeah, one of the easier Durgans I find, apart from that disaster move which can wreck you sometimes. It's pretty harmless.
Unless you're fighting it with 1 to 2 characters, it generally doesn't do anything particularly dangerous. Snow Muffler reward there. One of the best body pieces in the game, if anybody can wear it.
I usually Mog can wear it as standard equipment, so should be one person.
He only checked lock.
I suppose with the if you switch lock to Valiant Knife, you'd want to make sure you had the best physical defense possible to pull off staying on low health.
It does make it harder to get to low health sometimes, though. Zelfer has gained another Genji glove, and there is his final Esper. He is in go mode. So, yeah. I hope he puts 2 Genji gloves on one character, and then gives them Magus rods.
But then what are they going to hold in their other 2 hands?
The Genji gloves. It's a secret in this game. All characters actually have 3 arms. One of them is required to hold the Genji glove in the first place.
Ah.
And Zelfer warping out of there.
No walk of shame.
Zelfer sitting at higher levels than Sid with his experience eggs. But he has done many more checks. And Zelfer going for another safety Durgan.
In the standard flag set, is there a skip criteria?
There's no skip. One might be added sometime in the future, but for now, everyone in the community is just kind of working out the numbers for what is a fair skip. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Sometimes you do a skip and it seems like it's gonna be hard, and it's not. And sometimes you do one that seems like it's gonna be easy, and it's not.
Oh, hello, Pale Dragon.
Not the most dangerous Durgan in the game, as the Ice Dragon also is not. You know, they're ones that you're not usually too worried about seeing, although the Pearl Dragon can throw 3 pearls at a time at you if he really wants to. It usually doesn't.
True, and it can be muted, making it useless.
Yep. Can't really do anything else, so if you have mute when that shows up, there is Terra finally getting her Valiant Knife.
And Zelfer got the standard Pearl Lance and an Ice Shield. Meanwhile, we've got Sid going into Ouz's. He's gonna get his Go-Go, who's painting a picture of Dazzaluma. One of those 3D pictures you need the funky glasses for, because he's like coming out the paper at you.
Oh, or one of those. I don't even know what to call them anymore. What do you call those ones where it's just a bunch of weird blobs and shapes, and then your eyes on focus, and then you see a thing?
Ink blots.
No, not that. It's like a whole riot of Jackson Pollock colors, and then it makes it 3D when your eyes on focus. Ah, thank you, Franklin. Magic Eye. Thank you, also, Ceiling Cat. So, I no longer have to submit that feedback to Atma. Soft does not keep you dead in permadeath. That was a hardcore mode. Voluntary rule. Zelfer going for Bum Rush.
Again, whenever Zelfer sees Blitz, and he said it on numerous occasions, he will get Bum Rush. I mean, it is one of the most powerful magic attacks in the game.
It's basically single target Ultima, but untargetable.
Yep. Random targeting Ultima with lots of flashes.
Pew 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 pew! It also does that. I thought it was important people know.
I've forgotten what it sounds like because I hardly play with sounds on.
Oh, it sounds like pew 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 pew!
Okay, so while the anime battle comes to a climax on the roof of a house, we've got Terra doing a party reshuffle, and Sid's approaching.
Go!
Oh, pardon me.
Go and Data. Terra going for the collision check, it looks like, which is the standard move after you get Setzer. Doing the thing I do constantly, where you save before doing a thing that has absolutely no danger attached to it.
It's an ingrained reflex.
It 100% is. And Zelfer entering KT with 11 characters, 10 espers at 119. A little bit ahead of our other runners here, but it does seem to have been a fairly character-heavy seed.
Yeah, definitely character galore.
And Terra is making a decision and removes the old man from the party in favor of the Moogle. The Moogle. Whilst Sid finds a Go-Go, who will probably not be seeing use. Go-Go does not get a lot of love in the community, but he's sometimes one of the best characters you can have.
Yeah, I get his versatility, but the main thing going against him is he can't get stat increases by equipping espers, and also the magic pool he has access to is only on the current party members with him, not the entire party as a whole. So if you put Go-Go in a different party in the tower with someone who's only got a handful of spells, you ain't getting.
You just gotta think it through. Just think it through. But yeah, there are arguments to be made against him.
So
I would say he's situational, but always at least sort of useful.
Yeah, I mean, I recently managed to win a race by abusing the fact Go-Go can equip many of the abilities characters can use in this.
Everything except Shock and Possess?
Nope, he can actually use Possess.
Ah. Double Possess.
Well, yeah, that's how I put my way through my final Kefka fight against Flurry. I had a natural Possess Gao and a Possess Go-Go. Set up the sacrifices in order. Gao goes, gets rid of sleep. Go-Go comes in. Bye, Kefka.
Nice. And a dead safety Durkin for Sid. Looks like Terra is going to find Go-Go and Data. And Zelfer making his way through KT with double Valiant. There's the Paladin Shield finally. It only took him an hour and 20 minutes.
Yep, and it is handy to have. I mean, he's been keeping his pace up. The only thing what really stopped him was he hasn't really hit the character rush what Zelfer did to get the espers.
He also deliberately didn't use that Valiant knife until now, and he still didn't put the offering on. Sitting on an experience egg.
But he has put the muscle belt on, but if he's got the red cap on lock, those two boosts won't work together, it'll be one or the other.
Yep, it's just whatever the highest HP bonus you have is. Oh! Zelfer has found Kefka.
GG, Zelfer.
Well, he got to Kefka's tower. He's about to kill Kefka. Zelfer officially wins at 1 hour 22 minutes?
Yep, 1:22. 55.
51. Okay, so we'll let him know that later. I don't know why he's continuing. Terra missing the chest there, hiding it in the back. I don't think she's been around the randomizer long enough for that to have not been included, but it did used to not be there, so some people, if they've been around since the start, don't know it's there. Because for some reason it wasn't included in early versions of the random.
Yeah, like the Thamasa external checks.
Yeah, Thamasa used to have almost all of the chests in it non-existent, except for the one where you get the memento ring from the wall.
because it's like, what, 4 or 5 FAMASas is in the mapping or something, and it's some weird Schrodinger's town situation.
If you say so. I did not ever learn any of the details about why that was a thing. I just knew it was because it got updated at one point.
Okay,
Well, yeah,
so
I can see why you'd need at least 3 Tamasa maps. Or Thamasa. I don't even know how I say it. I think I usually go Tamasa.
Okay, so we've got the grandpa going left, and we've got the murder child going right.
And Locke is going to murder everything in the middle.
Yep, Locke's just literally said, put me at the foot of the tower, and he's cut his way up.
And daddy fight, tunnel armor fight, tri-talk fight.
Oh, yep, tunnel armor, that's free. I mean, he didn't even need to swing. He could have just cast Bolt 3.
I might not have it on everyone in this party.
Well, Edgar's dead.
Yay! But is he worth a Phoenix down? My guess is very no.
Ooh, synchronous boss kills.
Fancy. So we get a go-go reward, a Gao reward, and Zelfer finds a dragon horn.
That's
and a
the
goddess.
First time. Yep, that's the first time in a long time I've seen that chest actually be useful.
I don't usually get that chest. There is one before it though, the very last one you can get on the other path that I tend to get pretty much every time. And it's usually useless, except for one time when it was an Illumina. And it
saved the seed.
It didn't save the seed, it just made Celeste invincible. She already had an Illumina and a Minerva.
Oh, that was a big damage. Well, then again, they are lower and weaker characters, but it looks like it's just Locke.
Yep.
And Locke gets himself his stat stick.
I think Zelfer has enough backup members to use items if someone dies that he doesn't super need to worry about those people. Thank you for the raid, Andrew Racho. Welcome to the Permadeath Weekly Seed. So, Zelfer now sitting on 3 dead characters. Considering what Esper to stick on Locke, he does have a few useful things to do.
Yeah.
And interestingly, isn't putting the red cap off and on, which is a thing I would generally do. You know, because extra damage. Extra damage.
True, okay, so we've seen Tunnel Armor and Goddess in the middle. Who's Old Man Strago gonna have to come up against?
Atma! Finally out of the toilet.
Permadeath, it all depends really on how prepared you are. It can be a bit intimidating, but if you get all your exploratory wipes out early and resets, it's not too bad.
We've actually only seen 2 Phoenix Downs be used, and everybody started with 5. So, still lots of raising people from death that can be done. Just, I guess, Sid and Zelfer have been saving it for the very end.
Whereas Terra twice revived Strago, and it kind of didn't pan out.
Yep, another reset there from Terra.
Yep, Terra taking the 13-second time loss strategy on the auction house.
That is the one I usually go for, as mentioned. And Sid has found an air force in a cave where airships are the most useful. That's why Daryl's...
It's in a tanga. So Air Force lives in that mountain.
Oh.
because you don't see Air Force until after you've been to that mountain, and it's quite angry you've invaded its home.
Yeah, it's probably also mad about the infestation of espers.
Yep. Oh, Murder Child has Merton.
Yep, so we're finally seeing the Merton strats come out.
And Zelfa has sacrificed another 3 meat shields.
Yep. So, final boss of KT, Robot Imp! Sid gets
Reset.
Golem, and Zelfer fights hiding in the Hide Nights on their post-COVID comeback tour. Post-COVID. That's not a thing yet.
I might actually be possibly seeing this band next week.
Ooh.
It depends what festival does to me.
You just have to go to the Boogie Woogie Festival.
Oh yes.
Terra going for the eggplant with teeth check.
Nom nom noms.
For some reason, very slowly moving her items around. Is she playing on active?
It is a way to speed up this check slightly.
Yeah, but she was in a menu. That's weird.
Huh? Either that or new meta.
I'm gonna have to ask about that. Although, again, she doesn't have a mic, so it's gonna be hard to interview her.
We can always just type the words and stuff, and someone can narrate them. We've had 1 Chancellor ring, with some running shoes and a gravity rod as a reward.
Yeah, I'm usually not mad if I get Chancellor once there, because it does give you a reason to check those chests, but oh, that straight super open.
Yeah, that's the dream.
So, Zelfer on to Final Kafka at 1:30 and some seconds. And with just a huge party. He's only missing 3 possible characters. And one of them's
Celeste,
technically a secret.
Terra and, yeah,
Well,
Mara.
I guess not nearly as secret as Go-Go, but still clearly optional and last minute in terms of programming. Time for Kafka.
Terra was hiding in Zone Ether.
Ah. Not a character I'm ever mad to find, although when you are at 9 characters out of 7 required, might not be the greatest, but went straight in the party. I didn't see an ability on her. But it is Terra.
Yeah. Even if her ability isn't that good, she can equip the best gear naturally. She's a good all-round physical or magic attacker.
I think it's more that it's Terra Omen playing the game.
Well, there is that, but I'm trying to be analytical.
What did I tell you about your logic? Get it out of here.
Anyway,
Go become a math philosopher.
Fine. Dirt Dragon getting the microwave treatment. Zelfa throwing a max damage fire rod at the head. You know what would be funny? If Zelfa managed to kill all the parts in one go and trigger all the death counters.
Yeah, that's super fun when that happens.
Surprise quake.
I did that to tier 2 recently. I killed every single part in 1 turn. Accidentally. And then I died.
What got you? Was it the 10 hits?
I think it was quarter into 10 hits.
Ooh. Well,
Sid fighting a leader as Zelfa moves up to tier 2.
Fairly straightforward tier 1. This tier 2, the only issue I can really see is if Tiger somehow gets a Doom Tusk out.
Tiger is an annoyance. Zelfer does have X-Zone, might see X-Zone to take out tools. Or he's just sitting on Raiden, so there you go. do that instead.
Yeah, I think it's quicker as well, Raiden.
Yeah, Exone's not a very fast spell. Magus Rod for Sid. Everybody doing the Valley Garmanda check today.
Well, it is a simple and straightforward check.
And we're about to see a Welk fight, which is the Welk.
Obligatory is this even randomized comment here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, we've got the game of Don't Hit the Grew Hole going on in the top right.
You never want to aim for the Grew Hole. But that's a one cycle.
Drills to him.
And
Yep, new knowledge here. We've got a Daryl's Tune check.
Terra receives a Crusader Magicite.
The best one.
And Zelfer doesn't get frozen at all. And does nearly 10k to 3 different parts with Merton.
Ah, man. But yeah, Terror Omen's going off there. The other option you could have got with the lock weapon shop pick, which is the option you don't choose in the Worlds of Ruin, is locked behind Welk in the Worlds of Balance. You just go through the door and up the little steps, and in this case it was a red cap.
Yeah, way more common to see people get that than for people to go get the Lone Wolf alternate choice for reasons of there's no reason to go into the place where you get that in the World of Ruin, and B, it's just pulled from the general item pool, so it's usually not even a choice.
Yeah, and C, it's pretty easy to get lost in them caves.
If you say so.
Well, I don't tend to go there that much, and I'm pretty sure in Vanilla I got turned around once or twice there.
Well, just ask Air Force for directions. He lives in the caves.
Yeah, but he doesn't live in that cave.
Yeti!
Oh, Morrow.
I hear he likes flare stairs.
Yep.
And Mantra, seeing some very solid use there on Zelfer, healing up Mog first and then throwing a Mantra to everybody else.
Yep, Mantra restores health to your party members proportionally to your max health. So, heal up the Moogle. Everyone gets a 4-figure heal. Because this has been a curative magic lacking seed, really, so...
Yes, I don't think we've actually seen anybody learn any cure spell. There was that heal rod that they... So whoever got them sold them.
Yep, and 10 hits as punch lock for a good 8 or 900 at the moment, so that's just speeding up the demise of Sleeping Gale. If he gets the right rolls, he could probably do this tier in one attack. If he manages at least 5 swings on Sleep.
Yeah, Sleep has 40k, so...
And Gale has quad 9, so yeah. If 3 hits lands on Gale and the other 5 on Sleep, we've got a single round.
Yeah, there comes the Life 3 cast as we watch another fight with an old man.
And the Life 3 cast here is pretty smart because you want Locke to be taken out by Calmness at this stage, because he'll revive on low health already, and chances are he's going to be quicker than Final Kefka, so you get your one shot.
Yeah, that's a dead girl and like halfway or more dead Sleep. So one more move out of Locke would take him out.
Yeah, but I think this Bolt 3 is going to send him into Meteo spam.
Well, luckily, you can't counter in the middle of an offering. The children have a Fenrir that Terra is going to take away from them. Calmness comes out and gets blocked by a big rocky hand.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to, like, take a wolf what can make illusionary copies of whoever controls it off kids. I mean, the mayhem they're getting up to in that basement alone, unsupervised. Now imagine seeing like twice the number.
I prefer to see 0 children. That's the optimal number.
Remember, push Y to delete is a flag, but you can actually delete important NPCs.
Yep.
I deleted the guy in the woods when he was overcharging me for something useless.
I've deleted Kefka in the Imperial Camp before. Which is...
That's a reset.
Actually, I was able to walk out, although Franklin says that it should soft lock it. It did not for me that occasion. So here's, 8 times 8,000 damage. 4 times 8,000 damage.
32,000.
Yep. So that's a half-dead Kefka, and he's into Goner, and here comes the end.
Yep, the G and the G's coming out, folks.
With an official time of 1:39:46, Zelfer is our winner today, as I'm sure many people would have expected. We will see if we can get him in for an interview times.
And we've got cranes terrorizing moblets in the Worlds of Ruin.
Well, probably that's what's tearing down the houses.
Yep, some heavy-duty construction. Funbab is only trying to help. He's blowing the houses, weakening them a little bit, and the crane comes in and claw machine.
And that will be a Fenrir for... Oh, interesting. That fight was still a pincer, even though it was in that place. And, we are now joined by Zelfer. GG, sir. Congratulations on the win.
GG.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
So, I gotta say one thing. I'm very disappointed you didn't use 2 Magus Rods and a Genji Glove in an offering.
Really?
Yeah, how could you not? It's the best strategy.
You know what? You're right. It just must have completely slipped my mind. I was just being cautious. My apologies. Maybe next time.
Oh, hopefully. Yeah, we were all disappointed.
Yeah. So, as expected, your usual cautious approach at the start pays off great. I mean, you saw eggs straight away. You just fell into the offerings and the Valiant knives, and by like 20 minutes in, we already knew how you were going to win the seed.
Yeah, it really... How I normally played really helped out, actually, because I always like to take it safe and kind of shop around, loot around, and it really was very nice and lent itself well to a permadeath seed where you can only revive so many times. I need to break out of that habit, but this was not the seed to try that, so I definitely didn't do that today.
Yeah, we were hoping that we get to see the perfect opposite approach of you and Jack before he had to pull out, because as we know, Jack likes to run head first, you like to build up, so would have been interesting to see how that mirrored, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate that Jack had to bow out this time, because that would be truly amazing to see, just to see someone plow through and just make do and just do good anyway. But there will be a next time.
Yeah, I was honestly half expecting you to just kill Strago off out of spike straight away.
But then he couldn't do the burning house check first.
I
did do the burning house check first.
Well,
I wanted to level up. It made sense.
And the burning house check was progression as well.
Was that the only progression, actually?
We'd have to consult with the trackers, but I know it was the progression what opens up a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it was quite an important thing to do early. Also, I liked that you managed to get through it with fire.
That's right. sometimes when things are burning, you just need to burn more.
Yes, whoever has the hottest flame wins.
There we go. That's the true lesson to learn today.
Oh, I do also have to point out, you technically killed Kefka in Kefka's tower at 122.51, so I don't know why you played the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just want a little revenge for, all that the clown's done. You just need to take it a step further.
I guess so.
So, with this being permadeath and on just stanza flags on the stanza preset, it was a bit, generous. What would you put into, a permadeath flag set to make it just that little bit more challenging while still accessible? Would you maybe take away the shields or bum rush or something?
Ooh, that is a good question. Just to add a little extra oomph, huh?
I personally would probably take the rods away. What I would
I think
usually...
taking the rods away, I think that's probably the perfect step, actually. You still have shields if you want to get the money to get them. You can find super balls, maybe, but they're a little unreliable. I think, yeah, taking the rods would be a good first step up. Maybe mess around with the shops a little bit, make them a little less generous, maybe make the chests a little less generous. But I think the rods, taking them away first, that would make it a little more interesting in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure.
I definitely just burninated my way through, for the first, half hour, so yeah.
Yeah.
Taking away the rods would probably be a good thing.
We only actually saw 2 Phoenix Downs be used so far, and they were both used by Terra, and they were both used at the start to keep Strago alive. And later she dropped him.
Oof, that... I have unfortunately done that in a different permadeath seed. I tried to keep the old man alive. It was just the old man's time to go. Sometimes you can't just keep him alive. You just gotta let him be.
He's old.
He's old, exactly. His time has come. You can't fight it.
And you wonder why I thought you'd kill him straight off.
Well, I'll let nature take its course. We don't need to hasten it.
Yeah, so I guess you didn't really change your general strategy at all then for the permadeath.
This kind of thing just fits perfectly with what I normally do anyway. So, yeah. It's every other normal race that I need to change my strategy, but for this was perfect.
Ah. Yeah, I don't really have any other questions then, unless Fraggle's got some.
No, that's it really. So yeah, GG.
Thank you very much. I will step on out and watch the rest of this race myself. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. We'll see you the next time, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
So we do now have a Terra in Kefka's tower, whilst Sid is looking for that final Esper in the Zone Eater, not getting it. As we watch this retreading of ground, maybe it's time to go give some follows to some people. Got some links there for our runners, some links there for our people who include me. As usual, we need to thank Ceiling Cat for doing the tracking in the background. Franklin's also helping out with that. I probably should have put his name in there earlier, but I never remember it off the top of my head, so oh well.
So, with Sid acquiring Terra at this stage, do you think we might see an Imperial camp? Not camp, the treasure room before Seal Cave. Do you think we might see that?
I think this Welk gave us an Esper, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it was Crusader.
Yeah, so I wouldn't. That's time you don't need to spend, but it depends how cautious people are feeling. Currently seeing the Chancellor saving the world over there on Zelfer's screen. And
it's getting
Dinosaur
in the way
on
of
the
destruction.
And how? Bum rush on the shell. Exactly what you want. That is why you don't generally... Oh, and so many Valiant Knife hits on the shell. Luckily, whatever whatever Sid is wearing, which I'm guessing is a bunch of elemental shields, he is
Yeah.
absorbing that lightning, so he does not care.
Yeah, I remember I've hit the shell once and it hit me back with a gunner. That was
Oh.
one angry snail.
That's nice. That is a dead snail. And the Durgan up top still hanging on. Terror throwing meteors around, not really a spell you want to be using at the end of the game. But
It does ignore defense.
yeah, this is not going well. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, we've got 2 down, but they could just be the meat
Oh,
shields, perhaps.
interesting. Sid apparently took the red cap at the start of the game because he just got a Genji glove.
Yeah, I remember we discussed the option, but we didn't actually see till now.
Yeah. That's
I
another question
suppose
for him
it's-
if we get to the end.
Unless it was just, yeah, I know I can just pick this up later if I get terror. I
I
just wanted the red cap for the stat boost and the extra hit points, while characters are very squishy.
think you'd be hard pressed to if you asked most people what they would pick in that situation. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who would say red cap. I think.
Well, Seal Cat, who watches everything, spotted that apparently he did hesitate for a few seconds, so it
Well.
was a...
I guess he thought about it.
And to be honest, I think in his position, right at the start of a seed, I would have done as well, because your Genji glove is only really useful with certain things. The Valiant Knife being one, obviously. If Ragnarok's and Illuminous, and the Sniper. I really wouldn't pair it with anything else.
Yeah. I think in terms of general usefulness, red caps are more, yes, useful inherently, generally, but they're also more ubiquitous.
Yeah, it just... I think the logic probably was get a little bit more health on the squishy, low-level characters. And oh, Megalix is for sale.
Interesting. Always a nice pickup before the final boss.
Yeah, it's always handy to have either for the final boss or for when you get hit really hard by an enemy spell and you need to recover quick.
Or sometimes Windy Wind in Tier 3.
Oh yeah, you need to get the health up if you get Windy Winds into Meteo.
Yep, I had that wipe me recently. So, it can be nasty. As can many other things, but basically...
We've got both our runners in the tower now as well.
Yep. I don't know, it's a weird tone. Yeah, basically, I always like to have at least one Mega Elixir for the final boss. Leaving Gao on the airship. Do not want your slots today.
Well, he's got to practice his dance moves.
He probably also wants to practice on Setzer's slot machine.
But that thing's bust. It only ever gives you 7 flush or Choco-Bop. And like half the things in this game are birds when they don't look like birds.
And half the things that are birds or look like birds aren't birds.
Hooray, Final Fantasy logic.
Yay! The flying pterodons above the river. Don't fly.
I'm flying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so, yep, we've got... It looks... I'd say Terra's done a party setup pretty similar in terms of the lead characters. We've got Realm going up the right and Locke going through the middle, so The Lock Party gets Tunnel Armor Goddess, and Murder Child will get Hiding in the Hide Knights.
Yep. We have also seen Terra use another Phoenix down after that last fight with the Durgan, so she is now down to 2.
That must have been on Sabin, I guess.
Yep. She tried to potion him a bunch, but it did not take.
Yeah.
And Sid doing some damage with that, offering Valiant Knife. I wonder if he's going to put on the Genji Glove. I would imagine not, if he hasn't done it already. We do know he has 2 Valiant Knives. I think Terra's the only one that didn't get 2.
From the looks of his damage output, I think, yeah, if he puts that Genji Glove on, then he should be able to carve through the final tier easy. The Valiant Knife is so broken.
It certainly is, but it's Final Fantasy VI. Most things are broken in one way or another, and not always a good way.
Yep. That's not really like a tower, what they're in. That's just a structure made out of duct tape. It's the duct tape holding this game together.
Mm-hmm. So we have an Atma fight up top here. Go doing 25k with a Bolt 3. Not great, but, you know. Strago is doing 3k. And Realm is doing 85k. Bit of a disparity in damage.
Terra hasn't set any abilities on Gogo either, so he's just mimicking. And he's dead.
Now he's mimicking the floor.
Yep, Gogo doing his Lena from Final Fantasy V impression, because that floor's gotta be watched.
It might have poison that saves dragons. That is a dead Toilet Atma. Sid coming up on the switches.
Yep, just skipping the first dragon there for party 2.
And yeah. Terra, one party set for Kafka. Interestingly, didn't do Guardian first, which is usually what people go for, since you're using that party to begin with.
Yeah, normally it's Guardian and then the right path usually, because it switches to them.
No, it doesn't.
Or...
It switches to the left.
Oh. Logic. Take your math philosophy away.
Well, I learned it from you.
Well, we all know I'm a terrible guide. I mean, come on. What happened last time I navigated a race for you? We spent 25 minutes at the Colosseum.
Yay!
Gambling is fun.
Such a good map guy.
Oh yeah. So yep, Hayden has managed to poison a Moogle, but Lagamorph gets rid of it.
That's a dead Gao, and we're about to see one of the few useful uses of Pearl in the game. Not a spell that gets pulled out very often, but there are a couple bosses weak to it. It's slow, it's not amazingly strong, and that's only doing 3k. That's not ideal.
But it's
interestingly locked Dragon Horning instead of Offer Ringing.
And Poison Frog.
That is not a nice spell.
No, but the Poison Ticks will boost that damage.
Here comes the Guardian fight for Sid, which I believe was a Tunnel Armor. Indeed it is a Tunnel Armor. So, Locke taking on his traditional foe with his traditional knife, whilst Terra wins a fight. Just leaving Tunnel Armor and whatever, Goddess? I think it was Goddess in the middle.
Goddess is up next, yep. Goddess being up next at the time you really want that, offering Genji Glove double Valiant Knife, because hitting Goddess with a physical attack will normally result in Love Token, which makes her basically immune to physical damage.
Yeah, makes one of your characters take damage instead, unless certain things are happening, like if you have an offering, it negates it for some reason.
What is funny is when Umaro gets love tokens and he goes to do his big body slam.
Yeah. Does not know how to do that. 1,000 damage coming out of that auto crossbow. A little bit more damage than Edgar's doing.
Yeah, auto crossbow, it's not necessarily bad, it's just a lot of things outshine it, but it can be more powerful than your straight up physical attack.
For sure.
And Saban's dead.
Of course he is.
And Edgar has been protect me, but he didn't need to move because offering.
Exactly. So, 2 fights remaining for Sid, 1 fight remaining for Terra, and then we're gonna have us, could be quite a close end to a race.
Oh yeah, especially because like the final fight, normally we keep it unscaled, because if you mess with the scale and it changes, especially with its HP, it changes a lot of the boss's behaviour. The script is set to go off, you know, at X health, this attack, on death, that attack. If you mess with the health and normalise them to start, it can become a complete and total nightmare.
Yeah, we also do Unscaled, because originally Unscaled Kefka wasn't an option and the end of every single race was a complete anticlimax. Now we have more options to make Unscaled Kefka more interesting, but we still don't use it that much.
Yeah, I think it's more the rest of the seed is interesting enough, and no one particularly wants to be punched by tier 1's 8,000 damage flare.
Speak for yourself.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment.
Good.
I mean, you invited me to do the talkies.
I didn't invite you.
Oh yeah, I invited myself.
Yeah, you just showed up. And we're still seeing Meteor on a Terra. Meteor on a Terra, which is A, not a fast cast, and B, not a very strong spell. If that's the best she's got,
yeah,
it's not going great.
Yeah, I would have benched Terra, to be honest.
Bolt 2 would be doing more damage. I guess it's Goddess, so it doesn't have that option.
But without Goddess, yeah, Bolt 2 will have damage meteor.
And there's Fire 2 and Clean Sweep. So, 1 fight remaining for Sid. And Terra is about to go into Final Kefka. She has 2 remaining Phoenix Downs. Sid still has all of his, as Terra was the only one that wound up using them, as far as I recall.
Yeah, Phoenix Downs, the only real chances they're going to actually have to make use of them is actually during the tier battles, because if anyone's down at the end of a tier, they go bye-bye.
And then there's real tiers. So, hiding in the Hide Night fight. With quite a high level Mog. Unfortunately, Bum Rush is not the greatest, but if you pull out a Fire Dancer and Airblade first, Can probably get rid of a few of the Hidden Knights and set yourself up for hitting the main guy more likely with the bum rushes.
Yeah, you'll take all but one of the Hide Knights out usually. The very bottom Hide Knight absorbs, like, everything.
Except death.
Yes, for some reason, he'll absorb all your magics, except Doom, or Cleave, or Scimitar, or any death proc.
So Terra is entering Final Kefka at 204 something. Let's see what the difference is between them when Sid gets there. Still jumping instead of using the offering, which I find slightly confusing, but...
Something to ask about? Oh, and again, we can't ask.
Terra does not have a microphone today. And from experience, trying to conduct interviews through the chat, it's not the most engaging bit of stream possible.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, does the jump damage thing play into the Valiant Knight formula at all?
Jump still does multiply. I'm not sure where it multiplies. I would guess before the Valiant Knife damage is added.
So I suppose if you get lucky and constantly proc the 4 bounce jump with the Valiant Knife, you will be doing more damage than the Offering, but the Offering's guaranteed 4 hits every time.
Exactly. Whereas the Dragon Horn is between 2 and 4, as far as I know, in an even spread.
Unless you're Zelfa, because you have luck and everything's always the best.
Okay, so about a minute between them at this point. I do think Sid has more damage, especially since Terra has just insisted on taking Terra.
And don't forget, Sid also uncursed the shield.
Yes.
A Paladin shield, it's uncursed at the right time for going through Final Kefka. The innate magic block, it's one of them. It could be the difference between losing a character to the, like, Golem expiring or Fenrir dropping. Because Calmness is pretty easy to block when you've got the best defensive item in the game after the Illumina.
It is a good shield. He's also got Merton, which is going to make a little bit more of a dent in the boss than Meteor is, and apparently sitting on X Zone as well.
Yeah, Sid, I won't be surprised if they both enter Tier 2 at the same time.
Well, Terra is done with Tier 1, so you are immediately wrong. Well done.
Well, I am surprised.
That could not have happened any closer to the end of your sentence.
It's always the way with this game. It's like you sit here, you try to explain how the tiers work, and they just melt away before you can finish explaining. Like, for instance, on Tier 1, you want to kill the Hev, preferably first or second, because that's the one what death counts as Quake.
It's not a fun time.
And I believe this Merton is probably going to trigger that death counter Quake.
On to Tier 2.
Okay, and just keep proving me wrong, Sid.
So, both our runners now on Tier 2. It does seem like Sid definitely has an advantage in terms of damage output, but, you know, Tier 2 and 3 can do nasty things. Also, sometimes Tier 4. Not usually Tier 4 if you're paying attention. But, you know, sometimes he will just go, hey, here's, you know, 5 Havoc Wings in a row. Enjoy.
Havoc Wing. When Kefka just wants to say nope.
Middle part down for Sid. I'm sorry, I'm just Meteor again. I guess it doesn't really divide the damage, so...
And also, all 4 parts are actually alive on Terra's.
Yeah. But she also knows Bolt 3. I would be single targeting that. But,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. Bolt 3, single target on the middle, on tools, gets rid of it quick.
oh, everybody slow except Realm.
I mean, like, I'd even be, maybe Terra's got the chainsaw, I'd be using that on the middle part at the minute.
Yep. I think she just tried to heal with an Ice 2 to an Ice Shield and dodged it. And then dodged another Ice attack.
That's one thing I don't like about the magic dodging in this game. It's like, oh, I've got an Illumina. I know, let's use Berserk. Oh, you missed.
Whee! Stats working as intended.
And I think a mute was thrown in Terra's direction, but it doesn't seem to be stopping these space rocks.
Terra is a meteorologist. Sid getting the heals from that lightning, bum rushing all over the place.
Pew 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 pew.
Terra dodging a break and then getting killed. So, 2 Phoenix Downs remain. Are we about to see 1? And Sid officially overtakes Terra, moving on to tier 3. That damage he's gained has really started to show exactly what it can do for him when Terra's sitting on stuff like Meteor.
That was a big Bolt 3 from the Murder Child there, clocked in at 9-8. Something.
Yep, healing with the black magics. And Terra goes down again. Game does not want Terra to be alive.
Yeah, at this point, I would have tried to get rid of Hit before trying to get Terra back up because, well, we all know this game has a tendency to target the most recently revived character. Because why not?
Yeah, it really does seem to like doing that. Especially when it's important. Like it knows.
Well, in the meantime, we've got a Frozen Saban there. Has Terra managed to finish off any of the parts yet?
Hard to say.
Well, she's finished off Hit because here come the 10 big swings.
Yeah, I mean, at least she didn't raise people
with
again.
That to stab them down, no more tools.
Here comes a North Cross. And here comes Calmness, blocked with a shield. Tier 3 is dead. Sid just has tier 4 remaining. Terra moving on to tier 3 with 2 dead characters. Not ideal.
But
although I will say again, I think the choice to put Terra in the party at the last minute has been slowing her down.
yeah, I can understand why she's done it. I mean, she's got to prove to Kefka she can cut it and do it, but we've got Strago and Mog in.
Ooh, immediate windy wind.
I mean, Mog's pretty tanky there.
I don't think Terra went and got Bum Rush. So, Blitz is gonna be whatever she knows how to do. Or just gonna use Fire too. Getting Realm all not frozen.
And here's the Calmness, which isn't Calmness.
Yeah, that always scares the crap out of me.
Yep, and down on the bottom, Sid's got a few rounds in first before the fallen one, and here comes a big mate and heal, and well,
As Valiant Knife, nearly 6k a pop,
yeah, good game.
and an
Bye-bye,
ultimate
Kefka.
counter. An ultimate counter, can Realm tank it? Probably she's got 3k. Survives with 1,000. Needs an elixir. He is sitting on 2.
And that's the one problem with Final Kefka, and one of the reasons why we keep his pattern and scripting the same. Because he will teach you to respect him.
Here comes the Goner. Another Windy Wind on Terra. Game really not liking her having health.
Nope.
Merton cast here. Probably gonna take Kefka out if he's already at Ultima.
Yeah.
Oh, it did not.
Oh.
Meteor. In with another Merton.
This shall finish
That's
it.
gotta be the end of him. There it is. Sid is our second place guy with an official time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, 41 seconds. We will see if we can get him in for an interview while Terra finishes up her really rather rough Kefka fight.
Yeah. I mean, what we've seen as well today on this restream is the perfect example of how tier 3 can play nice and, well, be tier 3. And the Meteos and the train, oof. She got it rough, but luckily she's through on to the final one, and I believe Sid's about.
We are now joined by Sid, who appears to have the stream running or something.
She got it rough, but luckily
Nope.
Because we got some double Fraggle going.
That's the worst kind of Fraggle.
Oh, and now there's a double me. That's the worst kind of me.
Wait, you can be worse than you?
Yeah, if I try real hard.
That's the worst kind of Fraggle. Okay, so yep, GG Sid. That was a pretty impressive finish. Wait,
there's a couple interesting moments in there, but yeah, that was keeping me on my toes.
Yeah, so yep, GG Sid. That was a pretty impressive. I heard noises. Is everyone still here?
Yep.
I am still here.
Someone must. Yeah. There we go. Cat changed it, and we hear pings. Is everyone still here?
Gotcha.
Right. So yeah,
I am still here.
like you approach the seed like pretty much completely different to everyone else. I mean, a 27 battle care shield.
Yeah, I just wanted to prove it could be done on that one. I took that as a challenge.
Yet, generally, it can be done. It's just most people generally won't do it if it's above like 20 at the absolute highest. So, fair play. It did play out in the end for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting to grind a lot on this one because of permadeath. I also used 0 Phoenix Downs the entire whole game. No one even died until the 3 towers at the end.
Yeah.
But
both yourself and Zelfa didn't need to use a single Phoenix down, whereas Terra's burned through at least 3 of hers, and 2 of them were in the first half hour.
Yeah, she really wanted the old man to not be dead.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
I just figured 27, like, I have a ribbon. I had a lot of ribbons early on. I'm like, yeah, Curse Shield. Yeah, I can probably do it. Because it's going to be that many fights.
Yeah. I mean, there was that. There was, as well, I mean, finding Valiant Knives early.
Yep.
Always helps.
Yeah, that kind of curved my play towards luck. And the experience eggs I found about an hour in definitely weren't shabby either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the only one that bought any.
Well, those jerks. I mean, I finished second to last, so I can't really say anything. But...
Zelfer found them and then didn't do anything with them. He found them immediately. Never bought one.
Wow. I would have dropped the offering for that, honestly, if I had found them early enough.
Yeah,
Oh, I
you
had a question for you about the offering. You spent quite a long time not using the Valiant Knife offering. Was there a reason for that?
The output of the Jump Dragoon with the Partisan, I was feeling was about the same as the Valiant Knife offering, and I wasn't encountering anything that was like a Magimaster or something that needed to go through the defenses. So I was just saving time.
Fair enough. Yeah, it took you an hour and 20 minutes to uncurse that shield.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And point of interest, Tara has now finished 3 minutes-ish behind you. You started the Kefka fight 1 minute after she did. So,
Yeah.
pretty close
Bum
ending
Rush
there.
I don't know if she had Bum Rush.
She did not. She was the only one on stream who did not get it.
Oh, that's so good.
She did
That one
have
question.
Terra using Meteor, though, and I think
Ooh,
that
that's
slowed
good.
it down.
Yeah, she found Tara like right at the end and immediately put her in her party. And
Of course.
I don't think it did her many favors.
Nah. Did you see the Phantom Train fight that I had?
Yes, that was going to be my next question. Locke finished that fight with 0 seconds on his head.
Oh, I nearly had a heart attack. I'm like, you can do it, buddy. You got this.
Yeah, it was impressive. Always nice to see things that just the timing works out perfectly.
Yeah, it happened a couple times with the cursed shield, but by golly, I was gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question here about the Phoenix Cave. I don't think I've seen someone actually move the spikes up and down in a race in a very long time. Did you just not have healing at that point?
I think I had no tents and 2 sleeping bags at that point.
Ah, fair then.
And so I didn't want to leave and buy tents when I was already in there. I realized it, so I was like, I'm just gonna take it safe.
Yeah, that's fair. The other major question, you apparently chose the red cap at the start instead of the Genji glove. What was the thought process there?
Defense, staying alive. I was thinking permadeath. You know, the last permadeath one I played was hardcore,
Ah,
and so there's no saving at all. So I just kind of was in that mindset, and I left Narsh immediately and went, that was the wrong choice. But I didn't use it in the end anyway with the Genji glove, so I did have 2 Valiant knives. I thought about it.
yeah, that's what Zelford was doing for basically as soon as he found the second Valiant knife.
Yeah.
So was kind of expecting you to pull that out, but if you're in the mindset of permadeath, and especially if you had previously done it in hardcore mode, I can see opting for the shield instead.
The red cap. Yeah.
No, I meant on the equipment instead of doing the Genji.
Oh, on
glove.
the equipment? Yeah. For sure. The red cap was the wrong choice. Just flat out.
Yeah, and I guess the red cap did wind up being useful with the Valiant knife strats.
I don't think I had red cap on lock. That it probably would have been useful. Yeah, now that I think about it.
People go through their equipment so fast on stream; it's very hard to keep up a lot of the time.
Yeah, I had Paladin shield on him for a long time, erroneously.
Oh, you didn't mean to leave that there.
No, because when I started throwing Mertens with Realm, I was like, oh yeah, his health. That's gonna be a problem.
Yes, that is a valid point. And then, yeah, the Mertens obviously did a lot of work for you also there at the end.
Yeah, that's just a powerhouse team all around. That Ultima really kind of snuck out and got me.
Yeah, that was
super lucky there.
Yeah, you survived it with 1,000 health, but luckily you had some elixirs kicking around to get back into Merton territory.
Yeah, I thought about using my Phoenix Downs there, and I just didn't by principle at that point.
Well,
I was going to complete it without it.
Once he's down to ultimate counters, he's not got a lot of health left. So if you already know you can tank one, then you're probably good.
My comment on that specifically is my Bannon race the other day that I did. I got him down to Ultima, and he did Ultima, Train, Ultima.
Oh!
Within the 3 moves of each other, and I couldn't do anything. It just completely wiped the party.
What
Ow,
a nice
that's-
guy.
Yeah.
That's
so I
one
just-
of the worst Kefka kicks I've heard. Ow.
Yeah.
The last
It was
Kefka
bad.
I did, I got Havoc winged 4 times in a row whilst waiting for him to do Goner. He elected not to do Goner, and then I hit him once and he countered with Ultima. So I have no idea how those numbers worked, because that shouldn't be possible. But yeah,
That's bad time.
he can be an absolute douche sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that.
But yeah, so you've done the permadeath before. If you've done the hardcore mode, what do you think of it as a
Yeah.
flag?
I like it. It makes me go slower, unfortunately, and that's kind of not what I want. But I like that carefulness of it. Obviously, it doesn't make everyone go slower. Look at Zelfer's time; he did pretty good.
Well, Zelfer just got all the things in the right order because, of course, he did.
Yeah, of course he did. He didn't finish 10-10.
He actually finished 11-10.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I have no excuse then. He's just faster.
And he's faster because, in this case, he did Burning House first, so he got 7, and that opened up a lot of the seed for him. And his shopping at the start involved buying like 10 fire rods, which made the Burning House free.
Oh yeah, the fire rods were so helpful.
Yeah,
I forget where they're at.
they were in World of Ruin, Tizen, and somewhere else.
I think Albrook was the other location.
Ah.
Yeah, I never even touched Albert that whole scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a town some people hit, some people miss.
I mean, there are 4 or 5 treasures there, depending on which one you visit, but unless I start with Terra, and I'm going immediately to the sealed gate, and even then, I still usually skip it. Unless I'm deliberately trying to shop.
No, that's a smarter route than I do most of the time. I just kind of go.
Yeah,
So-
fair.
I asked Zell for this, I'll ask you this. We had permadeath on with just the standard race flags, to make it a bit more accessible for people who haven't done the permadeath approach before. What would you change on the flag set, to make it a bit more challenging but still accessible for everyone? Zelfa said straight off, he agreed with Mr. Entity and said, I get rid of the rods.
Rods, probably super balls. A little tweak that I've been noticing in the other races, just a character requirement of 3 instead of 7. Keep the Esper requirement.
So you'd have basically just Esper Hunt on permadeath.
Yeah, because then you're really balancing levels and time.
That's one to definitely note down for experimentation.
Arguments have been made in general for not requiring a lot of characters because you tend to find them anyway. I know Boo is a big proponent of just if you want to see it to be longer, add Espers.
Yeah.
And lower the character count.
Yeah, I think Drew did pioneer the 3C 10E approach, just you've got to find 1 character and 10 Espers.
I just got an answer from Terra about that weird Zone Eater thing she was doing. And apparently she just plays on active all the time.
That's insanity.
That is. Yes, I agree.
Insanity, but it does work because she did manage to get through it.
Yeah, playing on active mode is like playing on hard mode.
Right?
Yeah.
Just jump the battle speed up to fast. Keep it on active. You'll get a turn every minute or 2.
Yeah, I mean, it might save you time, Terra, but at the same time, it also gives the enemies a lot more time to make you keep wasting Phoenix Downs on Strago at the start.
Well, he's old. He needs them. Keep him on his feet.
She could have kept him on the airship.
Coulda. But yeah, what did you think of that seed overall there, Shadow Sid? I know there was no healing. That was one super notable thing about it.
Yeah, I was religiously checking the Espers that I was getting for the healing. Just come on, cure 2, something. Or a healing Esper.
You found
There-
regen,
And there
Yes.
was a heal
Oh
rod.
boy.
and you
There
sold
was
a
a
heal
rod.
rod. This
That
is why
was-
I don't sell them, because sometimes they can actually be useful.
Yeah, I really wanted those experience eggs. Because that's I
That's
think what I sold
fair.
for.
Yeah. Plus, if you find a thrower, there's no better way to kill them in the back of the head than with a heal rod.
Yep.
Just imagine wasting one of your only Phoenix Downs on a shadow hitting himself in the back of the head with a heal rod.
I would reset. Like, nope, nobody saw that. Reset
Yeah,
fast out of that.
that would be great.
That will be the channel's clip.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of, I never found Shadow. I think it was really sad about that. It's my favorite character.
the only person who did was Zelfer.
Yeah, Shadow was guarding Doma in the World of Balance.
I never found Cyan. That was a totally different route.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zelfer out.
He also didn't get Terra. I think that's where the main differences come in.
Yeah,
You,
Zelfer swerved Zonita.
So I didn't do Kefka and Narsh. So that must have
Nobody
been the route.
did. Nobody did
Okay.
Kefkit Nourish. Nobody did Fanatic's Tower.
Mog? I don't even know where to find. Like, that early on.
Nobody did Mog's check either.
Oh.
I don't remember where
Yeah,
Cyan
I don't know.
was. Where was Cyan? Boop-a-doop-boop.
Gauss checks are
Serpent Trench.
Ah, yeah, Serpent Trench.
Oh, I got Gal really late.
Many
Those-
thanks to our wonderful trackers for filling in that sheet.
Yeah, nobody did any of the Gau checks until a fair chunky and. But yeah. I don't have any more questions for you. How about you, Fraggle?
No, that was my main one.
Alright, you got any.
What would change?
And we agreed on the rods thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
rods
and
less
characters.
characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got any final thoughts then, Sid?
I enjoyed it. I hope everybody enjoyed a 27 uncursed shield on stream.
Yeah, that
I
was
thought it was funny.
that was nuts. An hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna do it.
And you did it.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
It did allow you to Merton the hell out of the end game.
Yep, that's true. But yeah, thanks for the stream. I had a lot of fun.
All
GGs,
right,
everybody.
GG's, and we'll see you the next time.
GG, catch you next time.
So, everyone go give our runners a follow. And like the Restream team too. Shadow Sid, Terra, Zelfer85, don't follow Jack. Put on a good show for you tonight. Fraggle here in the booth with me, Ceiling Cat in a different booth with Franklin doing all the trackies. I am Mr. Entity. Let's see who's playing the game that we can raid. I think we still have some people finishing out this race in the off-stream category. Doop-a-doop. We still have a Lunar Chimera. Let's throw it over to him. Once I can find the chat.
And while Mr. Entity sorts that, just want to say thanks everyone for coming along and watching. Thank you, Atma, as always. And boo Jack.
Always the Boo Jacks. So we will be throwing a raid over here in just a second. Everybody go give Lunar a follow and some love, and we'll see you the next time.